language learning programs and policies, and multilingual societies in the Philippines. The Philippines is a multilingual society with several languages spoken across the country. The country recognizes both Filipino, based on Tagalog, and English as official languages. In addition to these two languages, there are numerous regional languages spoken by various ethnic groups. The Philippines is made up of 7,641 islands and currently has 183 live languages, the majority of which are indigenous or regional. There are two official languages of the Philippines, the Filipino or Tagalog and English. Filipino is a native language based on Tagalog, and English has official status due to the Philippines being a colony of the United States between 1898 and 1946. Educational programs from K to 12 to tertiary. K to 12 education. The K to 12 education system in the Philippines consists of 6 years of primary education from grades 1 to 6, 4 years of junior high school from grades 7 to 10, and 2 years of senior high school from grades 11 to 12. The medium of instruction in primary and secondary schools is primarily Filipino, with English taught as a subject. In tertiary education, English is widely used as the medium of instruction in colleges and universities. However, some programs, particularly those focused on regional languages and culture, may be taught in the respective regional languages. Subject taught in the Philippines schools vary across different levels. However, some common subjects include Filipino, English, mathematics, science, social studies, physical education, music, arts and physical education or MAPI, and primary education. The subjects that need to be taken in junior high school are Filipino, English, mathematics, science, araling panlipunan or social studies, edukasyon sa pagpapakatao or values education, technology and livelihood education or TLE, music, arts, physical education, and health or MAPE. While in the senior high school, the core subjects that needs to be taken are Filipino, English, mathematics, science, and the applied and specialized subjects are depends on the chosen academic or technical vocational track.
Today we're going to talk about the programs and policies in Indonesia. Indonesia is the largest archipelago in the world, comprising approximately 17,508 islands. Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world and the second most linguistically diverse country with 650 vernacular languages. Despite its linguistic diversity, Bahasa Indonesia has been used as the only national language since 1945. About 80% of Indonesia's population is Sunni Muslim, making Indonesia the largest majority Muslim country in the world. But the Southeast Asian country is simultaneously a diverse, complex, and multicultural nation of more than 100 ethnic groups that speak hundreds of different languages. Some 10% of the population identify as Christians and about 1.7% as Hindus. Eight languages have been considered to be the major ones: Javanese, Sundanese, Madurese, Batak, Minang, Balinese, Bugis, and Banjar. Two others should be added after them: Akinese and Sasak. The more the Indonesian languages are investigated, the more minority languages will be found. From school children's point of views, the linguistic situation will become very complicated. Bahasa Indonesia was chosen as the national language, although it was spoken less than 5% of the entire population. Javanese, the language of the largest ethnic group which made up 48% of Indonesia's population and which has a literacy tradition, was not chosen because administrators believed that it could cause a high level of resentment for their perceived dominance in the political and economic domains. Bahasa Indonesia has been a medium of instruction after the first 3 years of primary school and is taught as a compulsory subject at all levels of education from primary to tertiary levels. As a result of the remarkable national language policy lasted for decades, the number of speakers of Bahasa Indonesia increased rapidly to 61% in the 1980 census and 83% in the 1990 census. The critics of national language policy, however, pointed out that Indonesian students' reading ability is rather low, ranking 58th out of 66 countries tested. The weak support for mother tongue education can be one of the major reasons for low literacy. A recent survey showed that over 80% of the Indonesian population still speak languages other than Bahasa Indonesia as their mother tongues. For students who does not speak the national language as L1, literacy development in L1 should be guaranteed to build strong L2 literacy. The case of Indonesia tells us that when imposing a national language, how to accommodate the ethnical and linguistic diversity into policy and curriculum is just as an important issue as the national language policy itself. Indonesia recognizes the importance of preserving and maintaining the country's linguistic diversity. The 2001 language law recognizes indigenous languages and requires that they be used in primary education. Efforts are made to promote the use of indigenous languages in local government administration, media, and literature. One obstacle of the implementation of the development programs was that the Indonesian people remained illiterate, means that they can't read nor write. It was one of the saddest legacies of the colonial regime. Most people were unable to read and write in Indonesian. On the Independence Day 1945, less than 10% of the entire Indonesian people could read or write in Indonesian. It was reported that in 1945, only 600,000 children out of 85 million Indonesian people were attending elementary school and only 500 at secondary school. At that time, as stated earlier, the obligatory teaching of Indonesian and the use of the language as medium of instruction at schools were promoted during the Japanese occupation. Now let's move on to Indonesia's educational system. The first one is kindergarten education program. Kindergarten is a non-compulsory, which means that students or learners are not obliged to go to kindergarten for aged 4 to 6 years. The curriculum focuses on stimulating children's creativity, social emotional development, motor skills, and basic numeracy and literacy skills. The second one is primary education. Primary education in Indonesia is compulsory and lasts for 6 years for children aged 7 to 12 years old. So for primary education in Indonesia is compulsory, which means they are obliged to attend primary school. The curriculum includes subjects such as Bahasa Indonesia, mathematics, science, social studies, religion, physical education, arts, and sometimes local languages. Middle school education program, known as junior high school, consists of 3 years of education for children aged 13 to 15 years old, covering grades 7 to 9. The curriculum includes core subjects and a range of elective subjects such as Bahasa Indonesia, mathematics, English, science, social studies, arts, physical education, and vocational education.
And now let us compare the programs and policies in the Philippines to Indonesia. So, for the official languages in the Philippines, we all know that their official languages are Filipino and English, and they are recognized as Filipino. In Indonesia, they recognize as Indonesian, and their official language is only Bahasa Indonesia. Next is the medium of instruction.
In Philippines, English is widely used as the medium of instruction. When we say medium of instruction, it is how you provide instruction and how students and teachers communicate. So English serves as the medium of instruction in our country. It is the language of the academy and therefore it has the ability to reach a great number of people as it is used in school. English is helping mold the minds of the children who are to become the future of the Philippines. Educational structure in Philippines, it follows a K-12 education system. Only 6 years of primary education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. While in Indonesia, it follows a 6-3-3 education system, which means 6 years of primary education, 3 years of junior high school, and only 3 years of senior high school. Their subject similarities, Filipino or Indonesian and English, mathematics, science, and social studies in their curricula.